right, let's be honest. Wearing pants sucks. Why should we be stuck in stiff jeans crushing our family jewels? Well, those days are over thanks to Public Rec. They got the deal maker pants, and let me tell you, these feel like sweatpants but look like jeans. You get that 5-pocket style, but all the comfort that you need to go from work to play, no problem. These pants are made with their Workday 2.0 fabric. Wind and water resistant, so they're built to handle whatever you got going on. Clean, classic, and comfortable. These are gonna be your new everyday pants. I've been switching between the deal maker and the day maker pants, and I pair them with the go-to tee, and trust me when I tell you, it's the perfect fit. Plus, Public Rec will let you pick your exact size, waist, and length. None of that small, medium, large nonsense. And with 10 color options, you can find your perfect look. Stop suffering in regular pants. Right now, you get 20% off with code Chael at checkout. That's 20% at publicrec.com. Make sure you use code Chael at checkout. Or, to make it easier, just click below. Chimaev versus Whittaker. My prediction. I haven't the foggiest idea. Who do you guys think is going to win that fight? Who's going to win that fight? And do you want to know, you guys remember The Godfather? So, he is defiant. Joel, defiant. This fight will not happen. He is angry that the UFC has not yet told us who the backup is going to be. He believes they have a backup. He believes there is a backup quietly licensed and in the Middle East right now. And I just couldn't imagine who that would be. And he believes that person's going to take on Whittaker. And I don't believe any of that talk around Chimaev is fair, by the way. I don't think he gets the yips. Do you know that expression? That is from a Seinfeld episode. And it had to do with golf. But this guy can't golf. He gets the yips. He gets the yips. Oh, you know, the pressure gets to him. He gets the yips. He got to pull out. I don't think any of that is fair to Chimaev. I remember a time when Chimaev had to pull out of a fight against Leon Edwards because he was in COVID on a respirator, thinking he was going to die. I remember that. I remember another time when Chimaev fought a man, cut 15 pounds to weigh in 6 days later, and fought another man. I don't know anything about this scared Chimaev that you speak of. I know about Chimaev, who was a make-believe figure at 170 pounds, ready to challenge for the world championship. They wouldn't give him an opportunity. He was only 24 years old and only had 5 fights, and Dana was actually having to answer these questions for why they wouldn't put him in there with Kamaru Usman. Kamaru Usman is no longer champion. They move him into Chimaev's division on 8 days' notice. I don't remember Chimaev flinching about that. I don't even remember Chimaev trying to get credit for going out and doing it. He just kept his mouth shut and did what he said he would do, which is fight on a certain night. I don't know where this is coming from. I really don't. And I know that narrative is out there. And I do know in Chimaev's last scheduled fight, I understand that. And the one before that. But the one for that was the payoff for fighting Kamaru Usman. That drew him into Vancouver, Canada, against Sean Strickland for a world championship. He had to say no. He had a broken hand. What do you want? So then he gets drawn into Whittaker, and he says yes. And from what we're told from his side, the story they would like us to believe is that he overtrained and in that process got sick. I believe that. Do you not? I believe that. But some people do not. All of this in conjunction with the ongoing story that Chimaev finally came out and did confirm that he can't get into the U.S. Well, this fight's not in the U.S. It's in the Middle East. And if you think he's got the yips, and you think he's going to pull out of the Whittaker fight, and your evidence for that is he's already done it once, what exactly are you saying? Do you believe that Whittaker is a harder task one night than fighting 2 men in 2 different weight classes over the course of a week? Do you believe that is a harder thing to do, fighting Robert Whittaker, than it is to face Kamaru Usman, who is somebody that you looked up to because you were 24 and new to a division of which he was king? And what exactly are you saying? And I don't think there's a backup fighter. I don't think Chimaev's pulling out of this fight. And can Whittaker be the one to stop Chimaev's undefeated streak? Now, here's your problem, okay? There's a built-in belief that to beat Chimaev, you got to out-wrestle Chimaev. And that is where all the talk of Bo Nickel comes in. But you don't have that right. To beat Chimaev, you've got to stop him from out-wrestling you. That's not the same thing. Robert Whittaker is a top 3 best counter wrestlers in the history of the sport. Juiced up Jose is the number 1 counter wrestler. Everything that George St. Pierre was to offensive wrestling, how George could come out and take down anybody, even though he never had any wrestling matches. He could take down Johnny. He could take down Koscheck repeatedly. He could take down Hughes. He could take down anybody. Okay. Juiced Jose was the opposite, but the same. He had the same amount, which was 100% effective ability to stop people from taking him down. Chad Mendes shot on Jose one time, and Jose popped his hips. He didn't underhook him. He didn't sprawl. He popped his hips into Chad and knocked Chad backwards. Jose was, juice Jose, counter wrestling. Oh my gosh. Very, very, very special thing. But I'm bringing you that as a great example, guys, because Robert Whittaker's a kickboxer. Oh, by the way, he's goddamn good kickboxer. In fact, he's only been out kickboxed twice ever. Once was a technical fight against Adesanya, who was a little more technical for whatever reason. Speed, length, there were some things, but fine. And he got out-brawled in the kickboxing realm by Dricus. That's it. You can't add a number 3 to the list. So let's imagine that Robert is a better kickboxer. Right? Because you're not just, if you say it's Chimaev, you're not only saying how great Chimaev is, you're also saying that he's one of the best to have ever done it. And Whittaker truly is. Whittaker will truly hit and do damage, kick and do damage, more men than anybody else you can find. And I'm telling you that because Robert Whittaker is a son of a buck to take down. Ask Kelvin Gastelum, who takes everybody down. Ask Yoel Romero for 10 rounds. He got Bobby Knuckles down twice in 10 rounds. And I'm just sharing that with you. Like, at a minimum, we're going to see a component in this match that we're not expecting to see. Now, if Chimaev can go tackle Whittaker, which he will try to do, Chimaev does not believe what I'm saying to be true. He does not respect Whittaker's ability to the point that he's not going to go out and go for it. He's going for it. So, if he gets him down, okay, great. We're gonna see something different. But the likelihood of him getting him down over and over and round after round, guys, it really is very small. And what happens then? Well, first time St. Pierre ran into somebody that he couldn't just go take down was Matt Hughes. And St. Pierre showed us, the world, how good his striking was. Threw a head kick, took a world championship away quickly. That might be what Chimaev does. Chimaev got in a fisticuff with Burns and turned out to do some things we didn't know he could do. Burns hurt him one time. Chimaev got those legs back under him, started returning fire. I mean, it turned into a dogfight. I'm just sharing for you, like, this is a very special match. And who's going to win this fight is not easy. You've got the undefeated Chimaev who's fighting what we'll call home. Got home territory. You can call it that. And did some different training, returned literally home to the coach that he had up until he was the age 17. I can just tell you that matters. That matters. There's guys out there, right? They say behind every great man, there's a great woman. And that's a very beautiful thing to say. But for sure, behind every great man is a man. And some of the real greats don't talk about it. They don't show it. Every guy has a guy. And if Chimaev is returning to the coach that he had when he was 17, I'm just going to offer for you, you're going to see one of the best versions of Chimaev that you've seen before. But that's still Robert effing Whittaker. He will beat your ass. He will keep you on your feet and he will begin to bludgeon you. I'm also not sold on Chimaev's size. I know some of you are. And you're saying that he's pulling pretty hard to get down to 185 and 170 is long behind him. I'm getting other information. And I do know that he considered a title fight all the way at 170. I know that was considered recently. But there was travel issues that ended up not happening. I'm just not sold on how big he is at 185. I know how big Whittaker is at 185. I supported the concept of Whittaker going up to 205. I actually got met with resistance by Robert Whittaker. I'm just sharing for you, this is a really different fight than you might think. And I think it is possible that one guy whips the other guy's ass, goes right through him. But I think that is much more likely to be Robert Whittaker than it is Chimaev, and that is where we're disagreeing. But that's still a fairly unlikely thing to happen. You're going to have a long, drawn-out brawl here. I'll give you my prediction. I promise you I will. That's coming. But I want to hear from you. Who's going to win that fight, Chimaev or Whittaker?